What's up, everybody, and welcome to the Switch Bit. This is the return of, and for the first time in 2020, Huntin' Them Games. Moving forward, Huntin' Them Games is going to be a weekly, episodic thing where I kind of talk about the games I've got just for that week. Before, I would wait a whole month or two to talk about my finds, but I've been finding a lot of deals. They are going to be shorter episodes, which I think people will be able to digest more. So yeah, without further ado, hit that like button, subscribe, ding dong, all that stuff, and let's see what I got.
I get $100 game with the $5 bill. $100 game with the $5 bill. $100 game with the $5 bill. $5 bill, and I'm gonna get changed, and I'll be talking about this deal on Huntin' Them Games.
Okay, it's been a good week. Now, one of these finds is actually not from this week. Full disclosure, because if you follow my Twitter, you saw it a while back, but it was such a good deal, I'm going to have to talk about it. But otherwise, I've got some stuff I'm very excited about, some N64 stuff. That's one of my favorite consoles ever, so I'm really, really excited for what I got. But first, something not as excited about, which might come as a surprise, but I got a GameCube. I already have a couple GameCubes. Things fall apart. You need parts. This is a really good looking GameCube here. Platinum. It's the newer model, so it doesn't have, even if I found the component cables, they wouldn't fit in here. Love the GameCube. Great system. The reason I'm not that excited about this find, the controller that I got here, it's missing, that right there. It's kind of broken. That's the only thing wrong with this controller. It's an easy fix, but sometimes you don't want to have to fix it. And it came with some games. So I actually found this at a pawn shop. It's a pawn shop close by, and sometimes they have some really good games. This isn't really the case, but I got this GameCube, a memory card, like 7 games. Look at that awesome CD case. So, The Incredibles, a bunch of that kind of SpongeBob, Sonic Gems collection, that might be okay. Cars, things I'm not really excited about owning. They don't have cases or anything like that. So this is stuff I'm probably just going to go trade in somewhere and get some credit for it, hopefully. One game that I am really excited about getting is Tony Hawk Pro Skater 4. I might already have this, but Tony Hawk, and 4 in particular, is my favorite Tony Hawk on the GameCube. Me and my buddy, Level 9 Tomicus, we used to play this, the high score battles, create the levels. We would spend a lot of time playing Tony Hawk Pro Skater 4. It's a really, really just addictive game. There's a horse mode where you can play, go back and forth. And I know that's kind of standard, but that one I have the most nostalgia for, besides Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1. But they don't have that on GameCube, so So I'll probably trade this in for some credit. I got all this for $30. I think that's a pretty good deal, considering GameCubes are going up and up and up and up. I remember a time, here comes my old head story, but even, this is just a few years ago, GameCubes were $20 everywhere. They were just stacked up. Going to Game Exchange, $20, all the colors, models, variants, or whatever. And I even made the remark, to my friend, I was like, let's buy all the GameCubes right now. Because that's a ridiculously low price. We'll sell them later. He thought that was a stupid idea. But now, I go to a couple of my local spots, and they're $80. So, kind of wish I would have bought a few extra. But knowing me, I just sit on I have this whole, row of multiple consoles in my closet. So, even if I would have bought it, who knows? Next set of games are all from a pawn shop as well. Everything I got today is pawn shop stuff. So these are $5 a piece, and they are N64 games. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Looks like 9 of them. But I'm just gonna go through War Gods. I am on a quest to get all of those 3D fighting games for the N64. I really loved that time. I love the N64 controller, the D-pad on it. There's a lot of unique stuff like BioFreaks and War Gods. This is from Midway. It's kind of like Mortal Kombat. It's kind of like a 3D Mortal Kombat with really outlandish, goofy characters and fatalities and all that kind of stuff. This one was really cool because it had a different kind of cinematic vibe to it. So if you couldn't do a fatality, you just uppercutted an enemy and it would like zoom out and pan out and kind of make you feel like you did something cool, even though you really didn't. You know, it definitely was a game that I cherished when I was younger, and I played it a lot, and I learned all the combos for everybody. So I'm really excited to get that. Next up is a wonderful game that I played the heck out of when I was younger, Turok Rage Wars. This is basically a Quake. Not online, but it's a versus multiplayer first-person shooter. Run around, unlock skins and characters and stuff. So that's awesome. There's some kind of glitch in this one. Like if you're playing two-player up to a certain point, like co-op or whatever, the file save gets corrupted, something like that. But I'll just play single player in that. And right along those lines, I got another Turok. So I just bought this on Switch recently, which is a really, really cool port. It was like on sale for $10. But there's nothing like having the physical. So Turok, just the original OG, fog and everything. That's a really fun game from way back in the day. I think that wasn't a launch title. That was really close to a launch title. But I remember playing it back then, just being amazed at the 3D graphics and when you attacked an enemy and their death animations and stuff. It just changed. I mean, it was just kind of changed everything, honestly. Like how you saw games. Even the other 3D games for first-person shooters at that point, if there was anything on PlayStation, they didn't have that level of animation. It was really, really awesome. And you saw that further in like GoldenEye and other kind of Perfect Dark and stuff like that as well. And I honestly wish more games did that, like all the different types of animations, and they kind of like made a big spectacle out of it. All right, here's another busted up one, but Yoshi's Story. I never played it. After recently playing Yoshi's Crafted World on the Switch, though, I will go back and play this, and this is something that my fiance can hopefully play and enjoy as well. I wish that it had a better... it's kind of messed up right there, but $5. Beggars can't be choosers. Here's another awesome first-person game, Hexen. It's like Doom, but with magic. If you've never played Hexen before... I really think that it's due for like a remake or a remaster, an HD version coming to Switch, or Doom 64 is coming out. Why not this? You run around in first person using magic and spells. Awesome. $5. Of course. I mean, what do I have to say about this game? It's amazing. Everybody loves it. This is on a lot of people's best games ever, best Mario games ever. Mario 64. $5. But even more exciting than that is Diddy Kong Racing. Ugh. I remember the day that I got this. We went to Sears. My mom took me there to get GoldenEye. I was like, I don't know, 13 or 14. But yeah, she took me to the store to get GoldenEye. They were sold out. At that time, GoldenEye was sold out all the time. It was so popular. And they didn't have it, but they had Diddy Kong Racing. So I was like, all right. I mean, I like Mario Kart, so I'll get that game. I had read a couple like things about it in an EGM or something, but nobody I knew played it. And this turned out to be one of my favorite N64 games, period. It has the adventure mode. It's basically Mario Kart with an adventure mode. The only thing that's really lacking is like true battle modes. There's a couple different like battle areas that you can play, but really, really, really cool and fun. And it introduced us to characters like Conker, even though it's not the same Conker we see later. And Banjo's in there. Tip Top. I always played as the little mouse girl. I can't remember her name. Tipsy or something like that. I don't know. But I always played as her. And one more $5 find. Battle Tanks. I can't believe this doesn't have any new versions of it, any new games in the franchise. There was Battle Tanks, and there was Battle Tanks, I think it's called Global Assault, that came out after it. This is another game I used to play with my friends quite a bit. I mean, we would get into like heated battles going around the city trying to attack each other. But $5 a piece, especially for like Diddy Kong Racing and Super Mario 64 and Yoshi Story. Super duper excited about that. So the pawn shops have been kind. And last but not least, the piece de resistance. I've really been looking forward to getting a PlayStation Vita, and I finally found one. These things are expensive. I mean, new they were like $300, but you can't find one used for less than like 150. So I went into a pawn shop. They had a stack of Vitas, and the way they do pawn shop pricing nowadays, so they'll have like whatever they paid for it and whatever they find profitable, and then like it'll show that price, and then in 30 days from then it'll go down $10, and it'll have like a little calendar printed on there. It'll tell you, you know, at this date this will be cheaper, because you know if it's just sitting there taking up space, they're really kind of not making any money off of it. They need to sell it, so they lower the price over time. So for whatever reason, this one was $60. I'll show you the price tag there. And that was the original price too. It had been sitting there since July. Now there are a couple like areas, and I don't know if you can see it very well. There's a couple areas where the glass has some scratch. You can't see it. They're like, you can't, when you're playing it, you can't see it at all. $60. I had no idea if it worked. It's always a gamble. They say buying from a pawn shop is safe. I paid $5 just for like a security measure, where if it doesn't work I can bring it back. But yeah, so $60, $5 for that, so $65. Took it home, it didn't work. I could not get it to charge for whatever reason. And then I looked online, and other people were having kind of similar issues with the PlayStation Vita. So there's some deal where you hold a couple buttons down and then you plug it into like a higher powered charger, and it'll kick on. And then it worked. Doing that button combination, or holding the button down while I had it charged, finally got it to work, let it charge, booted it up, and I didn't even realize, but it came with Wipeout. So I got that game included with it for free. Awesome. And then the next day I found Final Fantasy at my local game shop. So this is the only Final Fantasy 10-2, but this is the only non-pawn shop find that I found. And I did pay $10 for it, but I just really wanted it. Who cares? And there was a sale going on with the PlayStation 1 Classics. That's mainly what I'm using this for right now. So like Resident Evil 2 and Resident Evil... Twisted Metal. Just all those old classics look really, really, really good on this screen. So this was a heck of a find. So I can't wait to figure out, you know, what I can find next week. I got a couple pawn shops I got to hit up. I really want to try to hit up a garage sale next weekend. So hopefully we can find some good things. Thank you all for tuning in. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that ding dong for notifications. See you next week, and happy hunting, everybody.
$5 bill and I'm gonna get changed, and I'll be talking about this to you on hunting them games.